Every year we look forward to this because it brings people from all areas of the country. There are probably 40,000 people that come into our city that weren't here yesterday.
This is my first time at Funfest. We just bought our vet last November.
This is our third year at Funfest and absolutely love it.
Funfest has been a blast. We've really enjoyed it, and the weather today is incredible.
This is our first year coming to Funfest, and it's been a good time. Walked around, checked out the cars, been through some of the tents. Real nice festival here.
Hi, I'm Merv Gillenwater, Mayor of the City of Effingham, and I'm a member of Corvette Nation.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Corvette Nation, presented by America Motorworks. I'm Bill Stevens, Maria Prekagis, and we're sitting in Don Gray's beautiful original owner C4 convertible. So, what is Corvette Nation? It's the first television series devoted to the Corvette, where we take you into every single corner of the Corvette universe with stories about the adventure, the excitement, the color, not to mention the style and performance of the Corvette.
Well, whether it's lifestyle, historical, technical, we will cover all aspects, and if it's out there, we will find it and bring it to you each and every week.
So thanks for joining Corvette Nation. Let's go for a ride.
Woo.
When we bought the Corvette, I wanted to paint it pink. I love all Corvettes, and I just decided I wanted something different. And so we went looking for a silver or white colored Corvette to paint pink. And in the interim, as we were painting it, I had 2 aunts that came down with breast cancer. And so we added the breast cancer plates to it. And as a result of that, she's become a spokescar for a lot of Susan B. Komen functions. And it's important to me because I love these 2 aunts, and they're survivors, so that is one truly blessing. And so anybody that wants her, I try to bring her to the function. This show here I love it because it's just Corvette people who love Corvettes. And hey, there's no prettier car out there as far as I'm concerned.
Now, I've seen a lot of colors of Corvettes, but this lime green behind me, there are really only about 2 out there. This man has owned both of them. It's a 62, old and new, kind of not. Explain.
Well, we started out with a 62 that had some body damage, and we decided to make a custom cruiser out of it. And we've done a lot of modifications to the car that can be seen and can't be seen. And it's really a pleasure to drive it, to show people really like the color, especially. And we've done the clamshell hood. I always liked the clamshell hood because it made the motor a lot more accessible. And we went with the late model motor, transmission. The car originally was red. The wife said we can't paint it red because it's an unusual car, has to have an unusual color.
Unusual to say the least, but it's a good head turner. At a lot of these Corvette events, not only can you show your beautiful Corvette, but you can buy, sell, or trade, and that's exactly what Ethan here does. Tell me how this works.
Anybody can bring their cars out here for sale. We brought 25 out of our collection this week. We've got a little over 50 Vettes and about 200 classic cars, but anybody wants to bring the car out, as you can see, there's lots of Vettes out here, lots of people out here, and people love talking about cars. So,
what is it about the Corvette that you love? It's a special car.
Oh yeah, just America's sports car. I love the mid-years and the first gens, and they're just a lot of fun to build and a lot of fun to drive.
Well, I know you have some more wheeling and dealing to do. Buy, sell, trade, anything you want. It's the Corvette. It's America's car. We love it. Thanks.
Yeah.
So at all these Corvette shows, there is so much to do. Right now, I'm working on a very top secret, well, not so top secret, maybe top coat story. This is Mid-America Motorworks Funfest, and this is the ladies' paradise. And it is a little bit of heaven. So while the men are out doing their thing, the ladies can come in, play a little bingo, get a massage, have some seminars just for women. Men are invited, so Bill, you can come, but get in line, buddy. Cheers.
Whenever you need any accessory for your Corvette, Mid-America Motorworks is the real deal. If you're restoring, replacing, repairing, or just researching your Vette, Mid-America Motorworks has it all. The right parts for any job, in stock and ready to ship. And it's easier than ever to order. Use your computer, tablet, smartphone, or call 800-544-4385. Mid-America Motorworks. When you're talking Corvette accessories, pursue your passion here.
The first car I ever restored was a 1965 Corvette Coupe. It's my own personal car, actually, and I was very involved in the hobby, reading the books and everything else. And I decided to do my own car myself, and which I did. And after showing it a couple of times here, people asked, well, who did the car? I said, well, I did the car myself. And they asked me if I had a shop. I said no, and I did it on the side as a hobby, and eventually it became a business. We've had probably, over a period of almost 30 years now, we've been very fortunate. We've worked on some very significant special cars, a couple of styling cars, engineer cars. We worked on the XP 819 Corvette. We worked on the Pininfarina car, which is the only metal Corvette that was ever produced. We did some work on the Serv 2 car, which was a ZL1 rear engine car, about an inch off the ground, that Don Toff used to drive at the Proving Grounds back then. These are all one of one. Besides the ZL1 Corvettes, we've had both in our shop. We just finished an orange the ZL1 3000 original model, one owner car. Believe it or not, we just had the car certified at Bloomington this past year. Now we're bringing out to an NCRS Top Flight Award coming up in October. So we've been very fortunate and blessed to do it. I also have a lot of passion for these significant race cars, cars that went to Le Mans, that went to Sebring, went to Daytona. We were fortunate enough to where we did a car for the Miller family, a 1960 Briggs Cunningham No. 3 Le Mans Corvette, which was the class winner, 8th overall. And we were able to get the original driver, John Fitch, reunited with his car at Le Mans in 2010 for the 50th anniversary. So that was like 50 years in the making. So we worked on some really significant cars over the years. One of the really neat stories of one of our projects, we found a very significant Corvette race car called the Rebel Corvette. We found that car in a junkyard in the Carolinas. And the car sat there since the mid-70s. It had a Confederate flag paint scheme over the car. Turned out that car there was on the cover of Corvette News publication back in 1972. Won Sebring, 4th overall in 1972, the highest finish ever for a Corvette. It also won Daytona that year too in 1972. And what's so also neat about that car, it was the Goodyear sponsor car where it had the big radial tire war, where when the radial tires were being tested, they put unmarked tires on this Rebel Corvette. And the Goodyear team said, if you win, we're going to put you on the cover of the Wall Street Journal. And if you lose, you never heard of us. Well, they won, and that's what started the radial tire war. We had to change every body panel on the car, but everything was completely intact. But what was so neat about that car that on the back window, it had a little decal, 1972 Corvette Race Team Le Mans, which is still there in that junkyard all these years. But that car was in pretty sad shape, but it was very, very complete. Had all the original gauges that came out of a boat, a control panel, special steering wheel in the car, but we had to bring it back from the dead, and now the car is going to go to Barrett Jackson this year, and I believe that car is going to hit over $2-3 million. What I love about my job more than anything else here, when the car is finally completed after spending maybe as much as 3,000 man-hours on one particular car, and then the car is completed, then we put it back in the trailer, bring it to a national event like an NCRS or a Bloomington Gold to get it gold certified, and reviewing the car to make sure the car is just like it was out of the factory, and knowing the car achieved a very high percentage on that award, and look at the expressions on people's faces, especially the owner's face, and how proud I am of my team to put this car together, bringing it back from the dead to brand new condition, and getting the award means everything to us. Makes me go even further with the next project.
inside the Fun Dome, where you will find everything to keep your Corvette passion alive when you're not behind the wheel. And when I say everything, I mean everything. All right, ladies, what'd you buy?
Well, I got this nice jacket here on clearance.
Ooh, I love that. Sweatshirt for someone special?
For my husband.
It's for myself.
On sale, of course, $15.
All right, David from Evansville, what did you buy in the Fun Dome?
Well, my wife found this for me, and it was a deal that you could not refuse.
But really? He really has the baby blue sweatshirt.
Well, that's for
baby
my daughter.
blue for, oh, really? I think it says extra large, David.
I may wear that.
So you can literally find everything in here. I see you've already been shopping.
I have, absolutely.
Well, look at car cookies, barbecue sauce, jewelry. It's pretty amazing in here.
It's amazing.
And just in case it rains.
Which it is.
This is something every Corvette owner, I think, is really going to want to know more about. You're watching somebody apply a protective coating to the front of the C6 Corvette, and I cannot even see it on the car. This is Eric Keller. He's with Expel Technologies, and I'm familiar with those big bras that you see on the front of Corvettes, but this product, you can't even see it yet. It basically does the same thing, I guess.
Yes, our product here does everything that the vinyl bra should have done years and years ago. It's made to protect your car, but it doesn't wind up damaging it or hurting it because the vinyl bra might be loose and flap against the paint. Basically, this is going to protect you against rock chips and bug guts that fry into the paint.
I'm told that this isn't really a brand new technology. This kind of thing has been around for a while, but now the automotive industry is kind of catching on to it.
Yeah, I mean, the real genesis of why we came about was when the auto manufacturers switched from a lead-based paint to a water-based paint, and that made it much more susceptible to paint chipping. So it's been an evolution from the product set side, and as the film got better, more optically clear, and more durable, it's been more widely adopted.
Talk about the process itself. How involved is it to get this protective coating on the car?
It's wet applied, and it can take an installer, depending on skill level and complexity of the kit, between 2 to 4 hours for a particular car.
How long will this protective coating last?
We guarantee our film for 10 years against any kind of issue, whether it's discoloration, cracking, bubbling, or peeling up, and we just, in general, take care of the customer if they're not satisfied.
That's amazing. I got to ask this for Maria. Do you have a protective coating for the Kia Sorento?
That's absolutely true. We have that too. For any enthusiast that loves their car, we have a protection solution for them.
Yeah, she'll be happy about that.
We're going 75 to the desert, and it was hot. Hair was blowing. It was like, okay, so where's the net, honey? Where's the net? Well, they don't have one. And I said, oh, surely they have one somewhere. Well, long story, they don't have one. They didn't really produce any of the nets in America. So that's what I did. I took it over to a person who did van conversions for handicapped people, and I left my car there a week, and I said, please help me, I'm desperate. And he kept my car a week. Finally called me, and he said I had several prototypes that blew off, but I think I have something that works. And I went over there, and this thing was made out of bent metal and chicken wire and duct tape, and We got in the car and 75 miles an hour, and it was beautiful. It was so easy to put on and off. He didn't have to bolt my car or cut anything, and VetNet was born. We've evolved from a netting to a plexiglass type insert. We've gone smaller, and we have a great following. We have 30-some dealers now, and we love our product.
Your VetNet comes with 2 brackets, a driver's side and passenger side. It's clearly marked. All you do is slide your brackets into place over your carpet. Sits there comfortably. Now you're going to close your hatch. After you hear your hatch lock, your brackets are secure. That's it. You pick up your VetNet, you slide it into your slot and give it a little gentle tap, and you're ready to go. Top down cruising. Easy on, easy off, no installation.
Hi, I'm Lance Miller with Corvettes of Carlisle. This week on Lance's Corner, I decided to choose the number 3 1989 Corvette Challenge car. This particular car won the series in 1989, and it was driven by Bill Cooper. Just an overall great example of one of the 60 cars that were built. There's a lot of really neat things that the Corvette Challenge Series did with the particular vehicles once they converted them. As you can see, it was a spec series, so every car had the same horsepower engine, 245 horsepower, and it was the L98 engine. In the rear, you can see the exhaust came out right behind the wheels itself. Inside the car, you can see that it has racing seats. It has a cage inside of it, which could be a pain in the butt to get in and out of the car, but nevertheless, it's for safety purposes. Another neat thing about the vehicle, it had Dimag rims, which were made of magnesium, which made the wheels much, much lighter. And again, every car was the same. The only thing they could do different were change the suspension a bit and make it handle a little bit better. Besides from being a really cool car, my father, Chip Miller, who I highly respected, owned this particular vehicle. He took it to a lot of car shows, raced it on the track, always had a good time. I plan on continuing that tradition and enjoying it myself. Thanks for watching Lance's Corner.
If he's not traveling on business just about any other day, you'll find Tony Parella in his North Texas shop, carefully restoring a Harley-Davidson motorcycle that will soon be 100 years old. So in a series about Corvettes, why are we telling you this? Because Tony has already restored most of his Corvettes, which total more than 24, and they all have NCRS Top Flight certification, Bloomington Gold certification, or both. And at present, the collection includes every year of Corvette production from 1953 through 1982.
Corvette has so many different legacies, whether it's a racing legacy or technology legacy, aesthetic legacy, a horsepower legacy. There's so many different directions you can go. You know, having one of every year is frankly a starting point. That's certainly not the end.
His Corvettes include the 64th car to be produced under the Corvette brand in 1953, a car that he bought many years ago as a basket case and personally restored to NCRS Top Flight condition. The C1s also include a rare black 54, which took concourse honors in Palm Springs 20 years ago, a first-year V8 in an immaculate 55 forest green Vette, and a 61 Corvette that's experiencing some temporary separation anxiety. C2s, among others, include a beautiful 63 10th anniversary coupe and its mid-year bookend, a 67 435 horse big block roadster with factory side pipes. And a jump to C3s includes a never-registered 78 pace car with only 400 miles.
Started collecting Corvettes in 1990. My first collector car was a 1959. I've had a love affair with Corvettes since I was a young boy, and I said someday I would get an old Corvette. First one being a 59, that was my birth year. And that was my first restoration project.
And after owning the 59 a dozen years or so, he did something he almost immediately regretted.
I had an offer to sell the car that was a pretty good deal for us to sell it. Sold the car, and it went all the way up to Canada. I don't think it was loaded on the trailer, and I was kicking myself for selling that car, but I had cut the deal and I let it go.
But in a storybook ending, he found it for sale on the internet 3 years later and bought it back. The rest, as the saying goes, is history.
I can tell you whatever happens, if I sell all my Corvettes, that Corvette I will never sell again. I can promise you that.
One of the highlights of Funfest is the Saturday night concert series. And this year's performer was the classic rock group Bachman Turner. For Maria Prekagis, this is Bill Stevens for Corvette Nation, saying goodbye from Mid-America Motorworks Funfest.